What's up everybody, Brian here with BPS Customs, and what you're looking at right here is the newest case from Fractal Design, and if you're watching this video on November 2nd, you're watching it on launch day. This is the Fractal Design Define C. The Define C carries over many of Fractal's trademark clean and simple design choices found in their popular Define series of chassis, while incorporating new and in-demand features that many builders are clamoring for. For starters, the front panel retains the same brushed metal look and feel that does a great job at rejecting your grubby paw prints. Both the right and left edges of the front panel are flanked by large open grills to maximize front panel airflow, another Fractal Design trademark feature that has earned high marks from reviewers in the past. At the bottom of the front panel, you'll find the pull tab to access the bottom-mounted dust filter, which is both sturdy and the correct density to allow air to pass through while filtering out particles. By pulling out the filter, you also gain access to the 4 screws holding in the removable drive cage to the interior. Be careful when sliding the filter back into place, as it has to both slot inside the feet and inside the bottom tracks. The feet are plastic but sturdy, and they come with soft rubber non-slip pads on the bottom. The acrylic side panel window is just the right size to show off all your goodies without giving away your dirty cable secrets. The back of the case is relatively standard and unexciting, with 7 expansion bays along with mounting points for a 120mm fan. There's also a detachable PSU mounting bracket which comes in pretty handy. The right side panel is plain but is lined with thick sound dampening foam to drastically reduce exterior noise. If you opt for the non-windowed version of this case, the left side panel will also come lined with acoustic foam. The front panel I/O is actually a little sparse, with only 2 USB 3.0 ports here for connectivity, along with the standard mic and headphone jack. As with all Fractal cases of recent memory, the side panel thumb screws are captive. This is especially important for me because I've lost many a thumb screw that my cats knock off the table and bat around the floor like it's a marble. Once we open up the case, we come to a feature that Fractal has never before included on one of their cases: the now essential power supply shroud. Fractal has put a really nice twist on the shroud design by beveling the entire leading edge and subtly embossing their logo onto it. The front panel comes pre-installed with one of Fractal's new XP G12 fans and can support radiators up to 360mm in length. This is done by detaching the top panel at the front of the PSU shroud and then removing the drive cages below, as we discussed earlier. The rear panel also includes an X2 GP12 fan set up to exhaust air from the case. Unfortunately, you can't upgrade this to a 140mm fan without some modding. I was a little surprised that the motherboard tray didn't come with pre-installed standoffs, but it does come with a sturdy center post as well as mounting positions for ITX, Micro ATX, and ATX motherboards. Fractal has also included nice, thick cable grommets on all openings, including the top of the chassis, where you often see some manufacturers skipping out, as this area is frequently covered by fans. The top of the case is also home to Fractal's patented Moduvent system. The case comes pre-installed with a sound dampening panel that easily clips in and out of place along the top rails. If you decide to add a little more ventilation to the case, or are perhaps running an AIO cooler, simply pop off the panel and install the included magnetic dust filter. Similar to the top panel, the front panel also comes off with relative ease. I appreciate that I don't need to remove the side panels in order to access my front dust filter, like on some other cases where the release latches are actually inside. Once the front panel is detached, we have access to both the front dust filter as well as the mounting points for fans and radiators. This is the back of the case, and once again Fractal has kept things fairly simple. There is no integrated fan controller, no RGB hub, and no unnecessary cabling. What we do find back here, however, is an absolute ton of cable tie-down points, which I and fellow system builders are always overjoyed to see. At the top, we find a detachable mounting plate for up to 3 2.5-inch drives, which comes off with a single thumb screw, similar to previous Fractal cases. Running down the front side, we find a deep channel for comfortably routing all of your cables through the included Velcro tie-downs. The channel is lined up very nicely with the grommets on the motherboard tray. The power supply shroud hides 2 more mounting options for 2.5 or 3.5-inch storage drives, which can be removed completely if you so desire. Taking a look at a case when it's empty is one thing, but seeing it full of components usually exposes its flaws. Well, With the advent and widespread implementation of power supply shrouds, many of the traditional flavors of common flaws have gone out the window. You no longer have to worry about excessive messy cables or unsightly hard drives. Airflow impedance has all but been eliminated, and unless you have a shoddy fabrication process, everything should fit together really nicely. The Define C is a relatively small ATX mid-tower, similar in size, function, target audience, and price to cases like the Corsair 400C and the NZXT H440. With an MSRP of $79.99 for the silent version or $84.99 for the windowed version you see here, Fractal Design has provided consumers with more of what every consumer should ultimately want: choice. And a great choice they have in the Define C. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.